Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome. We'll just start, and as people continue to join us. So wherever you're joining us from, welcome. It's great to have you here. My name is Tosan, and I am part of an incredible, hardworking team here at BNET Learning. Now, just to get an idea of where people are dialing in from, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Just probably location, if you are open to sharing your name, and maybe what stage of business analysis you're at the moment. I'll start with myself. I'm dialing in from Alberta in Canada, and a couple of years ago, I transitioned into the business analysis field myself. So let's go ahead and just give a brief idea of where you're at right now. Just introduce yourself. Okay, welcome. Welcome, John from Lagos. Welcome, John from Calgary. Just go ahead and just let's know who you are and who's on the call. We can also use the chat from Frank. Welcome. We can also use the chat for any questions you have because it's being monitored, and then we'll either answer you on the chat or while we're presenting, we'll also answer that. Oh, Mary, yes, just started. Welcome. Welcome, Mary. Welcome. So yes, as we just continue to welcome people in the chat, it's been said, for a great life, a roadmap is more important than the journey itself. And I think that's a quote we can apply to every area of our lives. While we're on this call, we could change that around and say, for a great business analysis career, a roadmap is much more important than the journey itself. Now, that's why we at BNET plan to share today a high-level roadmap and also share an example, listen to a story because stories sometimes make the difference. So first of all, what is BNET Learning? I will introduce BNET. I will then introduce the speaker. The speaker will take us through it. And then we'll have a bit of experience of a business analyst herself who has gone through the process. And then I will introduce, and I have exciting news about exclusive early day incentives for our BA trainings. And also we'll do some interactive quizzes, questions and answers, just to find out if you were listening, and just look out for that. We'll close with live question and answers. And once again, you can use the chat for your questions, or you can raise your hand and we can unmute you. So as I was saying, what is BNET Learning? BNET Learning is a professional education platform, and what we do is we exist to provide world-class training services. We have classes that are led by experienced, certified, and expertly trained facilitators, and we offer a wide range of training. Some of which, if you want to find out more about it, go to our website. The link will be in the chat. We do have current classes ongoing. We have upcoming classes that cover a wide range of disciplines. So yes, so go ahead and check us out. Now, why are we here? This is a webinar that is one of our regular monthly get-togethers where our facilitators, our faculty provide high-level information about our classes and its benefits to you, just to make sure that we're providing value. It's also a way for us to reach out to those who really need our courses and just find out where they're at and what they really need, so that we can actually provide the best value possible. So that's BNET. Now let's talk about John. In a few minutes, I'll be handing over the mic to John, and he'll be talking about the roadmap, how to become a good, great business analyst. Now, who is John? John is what gives him the advantage to speak on this topic. John is a product manager and business analyst, practice leader. He's had over 15 years of experience, proven experience in the domain of business analyst. Also in digital product development, technology, project management, business strategy, and I think, in my opinion, most importantly, entrepreneurship. John was notably instrumental in the promotion and widespread adoption of business analyst principles and best practice as enshrined by the IIBA, particularly in Nigeria, also throughout Africa, and now we have the advantage of having him here in Canada. As a BNET Learning founder and a financial industry product management leader, John continues and is always applying business analysis principles to solve both large scale and small scale enterprise problems. And at the same time, he spends a lot of time mentoring and coaching professionals in different areas. So over to you, John.
Thanks, Tosin. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I know we have folks from different locations geographically. I'm glad to be here to speak shortly on, I think one of the subjects really dear to my heart. I know that there's that common saying that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So I'm going to share my screen very quickly. It's been a while I actually use Zoom. I'm a Google Meet person, so I'm just going to take a quick moment here to, I hope everybody can see my screen right now.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yes, there's that common saying that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And we live in one of the most volatile, uncertain, unstable times in the world's history. And that also has a lot of impact on people's careers and their personal lives, and has given a lot of people the reason to reconsider how they are positioning themselves for growth or ensuring that they're able to thrive in life altogether. So hence the topic. It's really important to explore opportunities outside your current comfort zone. So I know that you are here because we have at least an interest, if not already within the space of business analysis, but because you have an interest in this domain. And so I'll speak very quickly to what that journey might look like. How can you position yourself for success as you embark on this journey of 1,000 miles, figuratively speaking? For myself, thanks for the introduction, Tosin. I've been in this space for over 15 years. So I have a background in computer science and delve into a lot of the, I would say, entrepreneurial endeavors that have seen me go in different directions over the last, several years. So business analysis for me was a discovery. I didn't get taught, or I wouldn't say, it was something that somebody brought to me. I actually went out looking for business analysis, and I'll tell you why. So given my technical background, and that's not to say that you have to have a technical background to thrive in this space, but given my technical background, I was early on involved in a number of different projects. At the time, we were working on a HR and payroll project for a government agency in Nigeria. And we failed our very first cycle, our first attempt failed because of some gaps in requirements. And I came to realize that it was really hard to trace the work we're doing and how we were building the applications to how the clients wanted it and the goals of the clients. So I started doing some research, and this was in 2018, as to how can we do this better? How can we ensure that we understand the needs of the business and the stakeholders and match every specification of the application that we're building to exactly what is needed? And that was when I came across the IBA. And so finding the IBA was a breath of fresh air for me. Discovering the IBA was something that really gladdened my heart, in the sense that there were frameworks, and the IIB is the International Institute of Business Analysis, for those that are new to this altogether. And I can speak some more to that later on, but I have very short time today. Hopefully we get more opportunities to interact. Now, so I discovered the IIBA and set out on that journey to build proficiency for myself. I did have some proficiency already by the virtue of my undergraduate study and some other things. And I realized that I was already performing business analysis activities. Now, so when it comes to thinking about career transitions, especially in the business analysis space, what are the milestones and building blocks that you would need? Because today, I would say that your dreams, your aspirations are very valid. Your desire to find opportunities to be a person of value within the business analysis domain, solving problems, participating in discoveries, right, in analysis of problems, opportunities, needs, and whatnot. All of those aspirations are valid, and you can achieve that, right? But I'm sure you have a lot of questions in your mind today as to how can I really achieve those aspirations? How can the dreams become a reality? And they are proven methods that I'm going to share with you. Now, when it comes to any career transition, the very first foundation you need is knowledge, right? And when we talk about knowledge in this space, it's about understanding concepts, the conceptual mental frameworks that make up the space that determines what we refer to as definitions of what we do and how we do it at some point later on, but mostly on what we do. What is the role of the business analysis? What does the business analyst do? What tasks, what processes, what approaches, what techniques, right? Building up that conceptual framework in your mind. And similar to pursuing traditional, undergraduate education, the first thing you would do is to go into the classroom, not the lab. The lab happens after the classroom, but you start with the classroom first. Why? Because you need to build that foundation of the conceptual frameworks that make up the domain you're trying to learn about. So you start with knowledge. Now, I've seen a lot of people skip to skills. When you skip to skills, it's just like, back home in Nigeria, for those that might not be familiar. So we have different types of artisans. You have artisans that went to a technical college, learned the theory, and then went into the industry to practice. But you also have some artisans that just jumped into the workshop and just started understudying the person working. Even at that, they still have to learn, oh, this is the spanner, this is the bearing, this is the shaft of the car, right? So you learn the theory. But if you're just looking at the practice only, trying to build skills without learning the theory, there'll be gaps in your competency, right? So start with knowledge. Now, in the process of getting the knowledge, you might get a proof of knowledge, which is a certification. As far as I'm concerned, majority of certifications today are mostly proofs of knowledge, not proof of skill, meaning that you can earn a certification and still not know how to do the job that the certification describes. And that's okay. So once you build the knowledge, you should go on to building the hands-on skills, which is you can perform what the knowledge prescribes, right? And that is where you start to build more confidence that I learned about market research. I understood the importance of market research. I understand the descriptions of what market research looks like, the different steps, the different inputs and outputs of market research, or of data analysis, or of data modeling, or requirement specification, or process mapping. I get the gist. But how does that translate into performance? So grow the skills. The third step is how can you gain some relevant real life experience, which is basically applying the skills to real life scenarios or some form of simulated experiences of what reality looks like. That would further bolster your confidence, will boost your confidence level, right? Now, so once you do that, your level of readiness for the market becomes really, really high. You have the know-how, you can speak about it, you can do it, and you can refer to how you've done it in the past. So, and I do a lot of interviews, right? In the last 5 years, for example, I'm sure I've read over 1,000 resumes of job applicants, right? And I'm in interviews. I was still in a couple of interviews yesterday, right? And the first impression I have when I'm looking at the candidate's profile is knowledge. Is there any indication that they have the right knowledge frameworks reflecting in their resume? Is there any indication that they have the right skills? And is there proof that they have done it before somewhere? You know it, you can do it, and you've also done it before. Those three things. Now, once you have all of those things, which are the internal investments you make in yourself, these are the things that you can directly control 100%, all right? So you start from yourself and start to go outward. Once you're done investing in yourself with knowledge, skills, experience, then the next step is to look outward, make the connections, networking. What other people are on the same journey as myself? What communities are available for me to, learn from and also show that I have these competencies, I have this knowledge? Networking. And then the last step is finding the right opportunity, right? So I'm going to pause right there, let us soak in for a bit and see if there are questions. Any question around this top view I've provided quickly? I'm hoping that it can be somewhat interactive. Does this outlay of the steps, the milestones on the journey to career transition, does that make sense? Or have you seen somebody come halfway, maybe build the knowledge, even as a certification, but does not have the skills? And do you see them struggling or not? So while I wait for questions on that, I will show you on the BNET side what we have put in place over the years, proven methods that we have put in place over the years to help you go through each of the milestones and stages of the journey, right? Now, to build knowledge, we start with a knowledge-based bootcamp. Excuse me. So the goal of the bootcamp in this situation is to really start to lay the foundations of what business analysis is, what business analysts do, right? Conceptually building that foundation for you, getting you familiar with the language and the vocabulary, right? And all the building blocks, the tasks, the knowledge areas, the processes and techniques that make up the domain of business analysis, theoretically first, with some examples of how they happen in real life. But at that point, you're not doing anything yourself hands-on. You're receiving and learning, but you're not doing yet, right? 6 weeks, you're done with that. And then we encourage people to put their learnings to test by going through the certification preparation journey, where we support you, we help you with the application, you can join study groups, we can help you assess your readiness, right? Evaluate how well you're studying, tackle questions together, prep, tutorial type engagements, all of that. So let's assume you're successful with this stage, you're ready to move to the next milestone. Good. That is skills. So that is where we bring on the hands-on training, 10 weeks of training now, where you go through some of the most common, most relevant techniques and tools that business analysts would use. Oh, the mirrors or the lucid charts for modeling and specification and planning and tracking and all of that. Process mapping, data modeling, sequence diagrams, right? All of those stuff, creating business cases, whatever those things are, we focus on growing all of those, skills. And this will lay the foundation for you to then be confident enough to start exploring that world by yourself at some point. So 10 weeks of working on stuff, team activities, you're paired up in some cases to work on project simulations and all that. Now, from time to time, we would have opportunities for people to intern, especially those that probably have more time or probably they are not working at the time. You get a chance to intern on different projects as they are available, right? Sometimes we would refer you to internship opportunities elsewhere. Sometimes we might have them ourselves within our organization, and then we expose you to those kind of projects. Now, we do have a community of professionals in the project management space, in the business analysis space, right, in product, in data, different areas. And this community now lives within a Slack, platform. We're using multiple WhatsApp chats, over the years. I think less than a year ago or so, we moved to Slack, and that group is about 600 people strong right now. And it's focused on knowledge sharing, networking events, like community events that we have from time to time, focused on mentoring, coaching, career planning, focused on even skills and resources and templates that we share from time to time. We also have job boards within the platform that helps you to see opportunities that are shared. Folks can say, well, my company is hiring BAs, my company is hiring project managers and whatnot, and they will share. So at the eye level, that is the journey. And I know that we have Stella on the call here. Stella is one of our very strong alumni members. We're so proud of her and her achievement. She can speak to where she's at in her journey today, and we have other people like that. But the truth is that there are wrong ways and right ways of achieving your aspirations and goals. And again, there are no sustainable shortcuts. That's the other part. A lot of people want to say, can I do this in 3 months? Because there's so many, you know, PR engagements out there, sales saying we'll make you a market ready BA in 5 weeks or in 45 days. And I can tell you, having been on both the side of a coach, the side of the hiring manager, the side of a mentor, a trainer, all of that, it's not realistic by any means. You got to put in the hard work. You're going to study. You're going to burn the midnight candle, right? Apart from the work that your coaches and mentors will do for you, the bulk of the work will be on you. We would only ensure that we provide you what we call journey accelerators. What does that mean? You know, when you're traveling on let's say you're going from I don't know what examples to use, right? You're traveling from New York to Michigan, right? So you're covering hundreds of miles, right? In that situation, you could decide to walk or hike, right? But if we're going to accelerate your journey, we'll put you in a car or put you in a plane, right? That is an accelerator. So there are accelerators that we can provide you that will make your journey faster without still cutting corners. Resources, tools, guidance, all of that. So at the eye level, this is what we have applied. It's a concept that has worked effectively. Now, beyond this, I should add that not everybody is going to become a business analyst. And this is something that is really tricky. So in the last 2 weeks, I've spoken to 2 lawyers, right? And I know some people on the call would probably have an idea, but I speak to a lot of people. I speak to lawyers, doctors. No kidding. I have a doctor I'm speaking to in the US right now. People were like, well, I want to change careers because we don't just talk about business analysis. We talk about different things. But these principles cut across different career spaces. Not everybody will become a data analyst. Not everybody's going to become a developer. You've got to understand where you are at, where you have been, and where you want to go to, right? When you come to us, the very first thing we do is to assess your profile. We have conversations. Like, let's say you're a medical doctor. Why is there a desire to transition? That's the very first question we're going to ask you, one-on-one. Let's talk through this. It's not enough for you to come to us and say, I want to go through this training, because you're going to pay us. You're going to be paying us. So if we're thinking about the economics only, we'll just say, oh yes, come for the training. We're going to help you. But that's not what it's about. It's really about us ensuring that you are on a path that will help you thrive in the long term. That you wouldn't look back and have regret, that you can really truly achieve your desires and goals, your aspirations for success, right? So I've had people that I've told, I think you need to reconsider. I can guide you in how to really find success in your medical space without having to switch into tech. And we've had this kind of hard conversations, right? So yes, it's part of our coaching. It's our job to ensure that we guide you right in a way that you look back in years to come and you be grateful for being, having been as a partner on your journey. So that being said, I'm going to pause. I might need to hand over because I think my time is up for this very short presentation. Do we have any questions for me? Anything you'd like for me to comment on before I pass it back to Tosan? Anybody? Questions, comments? Okay, it's all clear as day, I'll guess. Tosan, over to you, and I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the high level. Yes, I also transitioned, and what having a roadmap on what to do next and how to go on to the next steps was really very helpful. Right now we're hoping to share from a student who has gone through the roadmap, and I know that you've closely mentored her through this process. And let me just find out if she's on the call. And
She's on the call,
yeah,
actually, so
she's
I'm
on the call.
sure
Okay.
she's able
Um,
to. Yes. Hi,
Oh,
Stella.
hi,
Good to see you.
Stella. Good to see you.
Hi, Tosa. Hi,
Hi.
John.
Hi. Thank you
Hello.
so much for joining us and being willing to share
Thank
your
you.
experience. I think the way we'll do is just brief history about how you walk through it, and then I think we'll just have some kind of interview style. John, you
Yes.
ask her some questions
Yeah.
that you think will help people on the call, and just draw out from her, how things went. I think that's what we'll do. So over to you, Stella. We'll continue to watch the chats if anyone has questions for yourself or John, but I think interview style will help. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great to have a robust introduction, Stella. I know you're a big madam right now, so it's all good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's really a great opportunity actually to be part of this program at this time. Thank you so much, BNET Learning. I really appreciate everything, the support so far. So, my name is Stella, and I currently work as a business analyst with an automobile company here in Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba. And it's actually my first business analyst role, and that was on Tuesday, August 15th, made it a year. So I'm just celebrating my 1 year anniversary as a business analyst. And yeah,
Congrats.
and of course, it's been with the help and support of BNET Learning, John, Bolu, and Damola. Yeah, as a team, they've really helped me through this journey. Yeah, of course, it wasn't so easy, but over time, because of hard work, being consistent, it has helped me where I am today. So I started off my career in the banking industry back home in Nigeria. I started as a customer service representative, and then of course I took other roles, went into marketing, um, personal banking, business banking. At a point, I became his team leader in the sales network group and all that. So because of the experience that I've had, even I didn't even realize that some of the things that I was doing back then were, has to do with business analysis. And those were, the experience, the skills that I gained over the years has also helped me. It's currently helping me now. Yeah. So I left Nigeria, moving to Canada in 2021. Of course, I didn't, take up that role. I didn't even know what business analysis was at the time I moved to Canada, to be frank. I didn't have an idea that there was anything like that. So I started working as a customer service. I went into banking. I told myself I didn't want to go working as a banker, continue that process. And so I thought of, okay, I need to transition and I really need to have a career, prepare myself. I need to upskill. I didn't just want to be there, doing some jobs, menial jobs that are really not what I want. So somehow, a friend of mine, referred John to me, and John set up an interview, and that's the one thing I appreciate with BNET Learning. They don't just come and say, okay, come and do the certification or join our boot camp, collect your money, and then that's all. Which I see a lot of institutions do that, and is really not the right thing to do. So, but BNET Learning would actually, have an interview. It was like an interview. He profiled me, you understand? He went through my resume, broke down the concept, everything I needed to know about business analysis. And I thought of it, I went through it. He also said, go and think about it, go through, what's the materials. He even gave me some materials at that time to go through, to read and to understand, what I'm getting myself into. Because one thing is not, you can pass an interview and then at the same passing the interview, you are cramming everything. Then when you get to the work itself, are you able to do this work? That's the question. So, but going through, the trainings, as it was really helpful. they were breaking down all the knowledge areas, allowed me to know exactly what I'm doing, the processes and all that. And then I was able to write my CBA by the end of the day. In September, I joined the September boot camp, 6 weeks. And from there, we did some, what's it called now?
Study groups.
Study groups,
Yeah.
yes. The study groups are actually really helped. They group you are in a particular group, and then you study, ask questions, you get yourself prepared for the exams. At the end of the day, I was able to pass my exams, and then I wasn't still satisfied. I said I still need to know the practical aspect of it. I don't just want to be half baked. I want to go in there and prove myself. From the experience, I've had like 13 years experience in banking. I can't just go into an organization and not perform very well. I need to show my skills. So I had to join the hands-on training in February 2022. And then after the training series of, I did a lot of work actually, kept on studying, even as much as volunteering. I had to become a volunteer to like do some projects, which also helped me practically, so that I know that, okay, this is the way it's been done, the step-by-step process and all that. And that's really helped me. And as soon as the interviews, I had to, I told myself, I'm not just going to sit down there and not go for interview. Let me even go for the first one and fail. I
Yes.
went for the first one. I'm like, okay, I didn't do, some questions that were asked, I didn't really do well. I said, no problem. I went for the second one. By the time I did like the 10th interview, that was when, I had so much confidence that if you wake me up, ask me any question about business analysis at that time, I would just, start talking, and that was it. I got the job by August, my first role. Yeah. So I don't know if I should stop there or there are
That
other
is
questions.
awesome. Yeah, there'll be more questions definitely. That is so
Yeah.
impressive. There's something you mentioned, a few things actually. First you spoke about the hard work that you put in,
Mm,
right? A lot of people talk about, oh, it's easy. I can make you a BA in 45 days. Some even say 3 months and all that. But you're talking about a span of time where you
mhm,
invested in yourself here. Um, why didn't you go for the faster shortcuts? Why
mm,
did you invest so much? And what difference is it making right now in your day-to-day practice as a BA?
mm. Like I said, I didn't want to be half baked.
Mm,
I won't say like I'm perfect, but
yeah,
at least get towards perfection,
yeah,
because at this, maybe for someone that is just finishing school, but from the experience I've had over time, working, and even, I knew what back then in Nigeria, the position that I was in. So I can't come here and represent, you know, that was the way I was thinking. I can't
right,
just come in and, become like you are just starting from scratch. Of course, I'm not starting from scratch. So I needed
right.
to really understand what I was doing, because one thing about business analysis is, it's actually broad.
It
When you
is
become a business analyst, you don't every organization, so many organizations have big business analysts, in their role right now, and the businesses are different.
correct.
So if you already understand the concept, if you know everything, the processes, there is no organization that you go into that you will not be able to apply what you have learned, into whatever business it is. It
Yeah,
could be like, for example, I'm in the automobile industry. All my experience was in banking. I don't even know anything about automobile. But as soon as I got into the company, the first thing was to understand the business itself.
correct.
And then, understanding it and also applying those concepts, the things that I've learned, really helped me. And that's what actually is helping me. It's not, nothing else. That's what is actually helping me at this time.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I know you are chopping big money, as we say in Nigeria right now. Let's not go there, but and you probably owe me some tithes and stuff. I need to come clean some
Okay.
tithes, but let's talk about this. You invested so much time, effort, and even money to the process. The first question is, at the time you were making those investments, stretching yourself, probably money that you ought to spend to go to Hawaii for vacation, right? Times you needed to go to some parties, some Nigerian very fun parties that had jollof rice in Winnipeg, all those investments versus the reward that you are seeing right now. How do they compare? And what advice can you give people regarding weighing the effort, the investment, and weighing the rewards?
If I would say you can't even compare it. It wasn't as if I had that money to throw out there.
Yeah.
But because I knew I was going to get value, that was what was important to me. And that was why I didn't just want to I could have joined any other institution, okay, in 3 weeks. We'll make you a business analyst. You just, give you they won't even teach you. Some people will tell you, we don't believe in Babok. Just, do it this way, do it this way. They will help you, arrange your, what's it called,
Resume.
resume, and then start going for interview. And then when you have crammed everything, they ask you question, how do you deal with a stakeholder? This, that, what is the elicitation? You have crammed it, you have said it all. So after that, what next? Then you get the job. Actually, you would even so many people will get the job, and then when you get there, how do you start? You understand? How do you start? So I wanted to, I knew that I was going to get value, and
right.
I believed in step-by-step process. I wasn't in a rush, to just, at the end of the day, it's really paying off. I can't even remember the money that I spent. I
It's not
can't
chicken
even.
change, like they say, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. Now, let's think about going forward.
Mm.
How confident are you in the path that you are on right now? How confident are you in the possibility of even more growth opportunities ahead of you?
Uh, I wouldn't say, when you talk about confidence in where I am at the moment right now,
Yeah.
I had to grow that confidence, even with everything that I learned in the class and all that. There's this sort of imposter syndrome that you'd feel when you take up a new role,
Right.
whatever role, especially something that you have never done before.
Correct.
You are now a business analyst. If it was okay, customer service, that one is, I've done it over the years, or marketing, sales, team
Yeah.
leader in sales, all those things, I've done it. Is something I know, that I sleep in, I live in all the time. But this is a new role. And then that's at first, the imposter syndrome was there. But then I kept on. I didn't, even after everything, I didn't just, stop. I had to keep, I kept on developing myself. I kept on going back to John. I did not allow him to rest.
Yes, that is actually very
I
true.
I did not at a point I said, okay, I'm not still confident. Let me
Yeah.
even, please, I need a special class.
Yeah.
That was what I did.
Yeah.
I remember Bolu taking me every week,
Yeah.
once in a
Yeah.
week.
I
We
remember
had
that.
to
Yeah.
go through, we had to go through we learned, what they taught us,
Yeah.
together, and then what I'm doing currently, how I'm going to, put
Applying it.
everything,
Yes.
applying everything. And then that brought a little bit of confidence in me. And then by the time they started telling me, oh, okay, they gave me a project to do, I'm like, I turn out the project and like, okay, perfect. You did a good job. Right now I sit in the midst of directors, VPs,
Beautiful.
and then I'm presenting. I'm like, wow. So it wasn't a waste of time. going through all those processes with BNET Learning. And it's
Beautiful.
so exciting, interesting. And right now I'm thinking of, doing other certifications to help me,
Certifications.
boost me, because my organization is really into data. And I'm even thinking in the line of data analytics and,
So your
that's
mind is open to all the possibilities ahead
open.
right now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stella. I was going to add that that's one of the things that we really talk about at BNET Learning, or even just, our team, our different faculty members, the growth mindset, number one. Number two, once you come across our team, we ensure that you are focused on that all-round growth, right? Communication skills, your mindset, right? Your proactiveness, your resourcefulness, all of that. We really invest in that. Um, Awesome. Thank you so much, Stella. It's really been good chatting with you. I know we can go on forever. There's just so much we can talk about. But thank you so, so much. And then I'll pass it
Thank you.
back to Tosin. And of course, we wish you all the best, on your journey. And we are here as always. You and I will keep talking, of course, so thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Back to you,
Thank you
Tosin.
so much, Stella. Thank you, John, for drawing out some information. And one thing that she really said that stuck out to me is that at the end of the day, BNET is a vehicle. The facilitators are vehicles, and it's driven by you. The more driven you are, the further you will go. Um, I saw a hand go up and go down. Did someone? Yeah. If you could put a question in the chat, and then we could do that. Thought I saw someone's hand. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I think wonderful things Stella had to say, and John is always there. She mentioned something about the having a sort of interview session with him. That's one thing we do. When people indicate interest, we always hand them over to a facilitator to just have a brief discussion to find out where you're at, because it's difficult to use a roadmap if you're not sure what direction you're actually going in. Yes. So with that, let me just turn on to some exciting news that we have. Yes, as I had said, we do have an incentive that we are launching. This is the first time we're launching something of it. We've launched things of its kind, but this is the first time we are launching it on this scale. And the information will also be on the slides as I'm saying it. So what it is, it's a founder scholarship. And what we're doing is making sure that everybody on this call has an opportunity to tie into what we have. Now, there's, of course, everything that comes with scholarships, everything that comes with exciting news always has terms and conditions. So I will share what those terms and conditions are, and I will also share a link for you to go forward with that. So what's the first criteria? Number one, join the webinar. Everybody on this call has this open to them. The second thing is you have to indicate interest. As I said, BNET are facilitators. We're just vehicles. You have to do some work. So you have to indicate interest. It's a 50% founders promo discount, and it's only for business analysis in North America. So indicate interest, and then we're going to have a specialized session with our BA faculty. And these are experienced business analysts who will also be taking you through the bootcamp course. So once you attend that, indicate interest, you will go into a raffle where somebody will be picked. John, was there anything you wanted to add to that?
Nothing too much. I think there is desire to provide more support. I know that over the years we've done different types of programs and scholarships. The most popular one is our annual Finishing Strong scholarship program that we do, and we are focused on different demographics and young people, professionals changing careers, people out of work, different drivers. So in this case, this almost mid-year, going into fall-ish program is to, number one, provide incentives to people that have the interest. And number two, then help one person on their journey 100% cost-free, both the training and the certification cost, totally taken care of by the BNET Learning team. As Stella has said, and Tristan has also mentioned, there is a strong focus on impact for us. We have a very well-established, eye-achieving team, right? You know, people that are doing well in their different careers, doing really great things, you know, across the world. And there is that strong desire, you know, to impact other people as well. So beyond just having a, you know, a training, it's not just business for us. It is highly impact-driven. And in almost every leadership engagement, you hear that theme of impact. So yes, there'll be that 50% discount, which is fantastic. But the real catch is one person who has a strong desire to go through that entire journey. We help you with, we'll provide you your IB membership. We're going to pay for your certification exam. We're going to, of course, you're going to get the training for free. One person that would get that really great support on the journey. I know Stella is probably wishing she was in this court. Stella, I think it's a good wish, but you're not a big madam. We should even ask you to. Oh,
Sponsor
I'm just
someone.
said that they are that one person. So I'm just looking at the chat here. Stella is not a big madam. We're gonna ask her to sponsor somebody very soon. The way she's
Yeah.
going and growing. She's now dining with the VPs and the senior directors. So very soon she will sponsor one person as well. Awesome. Cool. So
Yeah, I think
that's all I have to
once
add to send. Yeah.
thank you so much, John. I think one thing we've also done here at BNET is we've always kept contact with students who have gone through us. So we do have a community called Growth Casa where, you know, there's connections between those who have gone ahead and those behind. So as I said, you know, criteria, join the webinar, indicate interest, and for those who indicate interest, they will be told about the specialized session where which is also part of the criteria, and where we'll be talking
The
more
raffle,
about
right?
the
Yes.
raffle.
Yep.
Yes. So yes, so let's jump into the next thing. Just to make sure that you know there are people out there and you are listening. I just have a couple of questions that are based on John's presentation. So when he was sharing the roadmap, he talked about internship openings, and I don't know if anybody remembers how many months those internships are. So you can write your answers in the chat box. How many months was the internship program that John mentioned?
I think you have your first answer.
I have my
Wow,
first
folks were
answer.
actually listening very intently. Oh,
Wow. Oh, thank you. That is very good. Good to know that people were listening. The second question is when John was speaking again about the roadmap. John, are we going to provide the roadmap, or is there somewhere that people can see that
yeah.
roadmap?
So I think the
Okay.
team can mail that out. So I know John
Okay.
OG is on the call somewhere. So
Yeah.
you can mail that out to
Okay, that
people
would be great.
after the session. Yes.
After the session. Okay.
Yes.
When John's talking about the roadmap, what constitutes the ultimate objective in terms of guiding you from your current position towards your aspirations? What's the ultimate objective?
That's a tricky one now.
We thought it would be a tricky one, yeah. I guess because it differs for everybody, right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
damn.
all eyes on fire.
Yes,
Definitely on fire.
that is so great. You know, the wonderful thing about business analyst is that it has different titles in different companies. You know, that is something that we find. And this session was about the roadmap. We do have previous webinars where we go into detail what the business analyst is, what it does, and examples of what the titles could be in different companies that you're working in. So these are links to past webinars. They will also be shared in the chat, so you can just click on it and watch those videos and actually get to find out more about business analysts. John, you're smiling. Am I missing
Yeah, I'm
something
reading
there?
the comments. Yes,
Oh, that's nice.
Alberto was like not to be a quack BA, and that is a
Yeah,
very good paraphrase. Yes, absolutely.
yeah, that's a very good paraphrase. That's a very good paraphrase. So the links will be dropped in here. Um,
So I'm
would
curious
you?
if there are questions,
Yeah, just switching over
because
to questions now.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is anybody curious about any? particular thing, we've had a lot of conversations so far. Are there 3 keys you need help with? We are here to help you, and then hopefully we can have an opportunity for one-on-one conversations. I love one-on-one conversations, especially here when I see people that have the strong desire and the will. Because sometimes people come to us and they just talk to talk, but the passion and the will to achieve is not there, right? So I really enjoy talking to people that have the desire and the will. And so I have folks here that can bear me testament. I can go on talking for hours. So book a 30 minutes call and it ends up becoming a 2-hour conversation right quickly. Once I see the passion, I just want to chat. So yes. So Abado wants to have a one-on-one. Yeah, so we can arrange that. So I know that a link has been put there. And maybe John
If you just
OG, we
fill the
can,
form,
yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Once
good.
you fill the form, we get his email address. I will send you the link for those one-on-ones. I think
Yeah.
just some people, yeah, some people don't like asking questions in open spaces, and I was like that until I realized that everybody stands to gain from somebody from your question. Once you ask a question and they give the answer, everybody gains from it. So yeah, any questions, just type them in. We're still watching that box. I know that time is ticking, but yeah, we're willing to answer any questions.
So I saw somebody who said that they will be the one person that will win the full scholarship. I think that was Amzi. Amzi, I was wondering why you feel so confident you'll be the person. And if you in particular have any questions that will help us help you. All good, all good, okay. If there are no questions, I think that's a good sign. Might be that we have already answered most of the questions, and that is excellent. Oh, you're determined to be on this journey. Yes, determination is very important. Stella touched on that as well, because there'll be challenging moments. There'll be moments when you have some doubts. There are moments when you are blocked, right? Where there'll be obstacles in your path. So having that strong determination is very important. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we spend time interviewing people, like Stella called it interviews, because there are people that come to us because their friend said, well, business analysis is the next hot thing. It's really in vogue. Go do it. So your friend tells you, they push you, but you're not self-driven. So the very first obstacle you meet on your way, you just stop, because there's no will within yourself. There's no determination within yourself to go on that journey. So absolutely, that is important. That self-drive, that clarity as to why you're doing this and what success looks like. That is really important. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's good to round out on that note. I think one step in determination is that you join this webinar. As I said, joining this webinar is actually the criteria, and then filling the form. So we look forward to hearing from all of you, and please provide feedback. Our website also has a connect how you can connect with us. If you just go there, there's how to connect with us. And yeah, we're always out there. You can look. We're also on LinkedIn. We're also on your most popular social media sites: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So you can actually find us there. So once again, thank you so much for giving us your time, and we do hope that we've provided much value, and we're out there hoping to hear from you. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.
Thank you.